Unfortunately, Earth was not able to become one of the planets with rings in the solar system. But would it still be able to support life if it had worn rings? When Earth was formed, it most likely had a ring of rocky debris from a massive collision with Theia, a protoplanet, approximately 4.5 billion years ago. A ring of debris was blown into Earth's orbit by the enormous impact. Eventually, another celestial body, which we now refer to as the Moon, was born from the rocky remnants. It would appear far more magnificent to see planetary rings in the sky than just a single gray rock, wouldn't they? Perhaps. However, much of life on Earth might not make it through the renovation process if our planet were to receive stunning rings like these tomorrow. The formation of rings around the Earth wouldn't necessarily require another collision. We could simply crumble the Moon. We would just need to shift it a little bit closer to do that. The gravitational influence Earth exerts on the Moon varies across its surface. With the force being greatest on the side facing Earth, there is a limit, called the Roche limit, that places limitations on how close celestial bodies can get to one another. If they got any closer than this breaking point, the smaller body would be shattered into pieces by the larger body's gravitational pull. The size, mass, and density of the interacting bodies determine how far the Roche limit extends. As an example, comets are destroyed by the sun when they are 1.3 million kilometers away. An average-sized comet can be destroyed by Earth's gravitational pull at a distance of roughly 18,000 kilometers, but the Moon's Roche limit would be about 9,500 kilometers. If Earth were to acquire rings comparable in size to those generated by an object the size of the Moon, they would be around 5,000 kilometers in width and around 9.5 meters in thickness. However, unlike Saturn's icy rings, Earth's rings would consist solely of rock, as the proximity to the sun prevents the debris from maintaining icy compositions. From Earth, these rings would be continuously visible in the sky. The Moon would become much less dazzling because of their brightness. This scenario, though, is based on the assumption that the Moon still exists. The sky would be devoid of any other notable features if the Moon had broken apart to produce our rings. An incident of that nature would have numerous more consequences. Some creatures' internal navigation systems would be disrupted if Earth were suddenly surrounded by rings. Moreover, if not enough direct sunlight could reach through the rings, photosynthesis would be hindered, which could have an effect on our ability to produce oxygen. The temperature would drop to such extremes that parts of Earth that were shaded by the rings and not receiving any warmth from sunlight would almost become uninhabitable. Communication satellites, which are usually located near the equator, would be caught in the midst of a barrage of rocks. Sustaining internet access on a ringed Earth would require other means, hence posting selfies would become difficult. If there had always been rings on Earth, evolution would probably have gone without a hitch, as long as sunlight and oxygen concentration stayed constant. However, the existence of rocky rings would make satellite deployment unfeasible, which would lead to the creation of substitute communication technologies. Since the planet's stony rings function as an orbital barrier to prevent travel beyond Earth, space exploration will never be able to claim the title of our ultimate destination. Earth's rings would not last forever. Just like Saturn's, they would eventually start to fade with age and eventually fall from the sky. Make sure you put on your helmet while looking up at the falling sky. If the multiverse idea is correct, there might be a ringed parallel Earth where people wonder what it's like to live on a world without rings. But that's the topic for another What If video. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.